The following program contains graphic images that may be disturbing. Parents are advised that these images may not be suitable for young children.
We've all seen some pretty gruesome pictures online. You can't unsee them. Some leave us asking, what is it, what happened, and could it happen to me? So I want you all to look at these pictures. These are not for the faint of heart, clearly a gruesome injury. What you're seeing is the result of a rattlesnake bite. The weirdest part of this whole story, the snake was dead. So Milo's gentleman in Texas doing yard work, his wife Jennifer almost reached for a rattlesnake, wasn't sure what was going on, so he came in to defend her and apparently beheaded the rattlesnake. He went to dispose of the snake. The severed head latched onto his hand and gave him a massive dose of venom. Ended up with something known as DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation, had internal bleeding, went into septic shock, kidney shut down, received 26 doses of antivenom. That's how much venom was injected into his hand. That is way more than a typical dose.
Typical is 2 to 4, and he got 26.
Most people don't realize that a rattlesnake, you could decapitate it, and yet it can still bite you. And think about it, the venom is still there. And it bites you and it can't control how much. That is a potentially lethal dose. And there is some good news here, which it sounds like Milo is slowly recovering, still getting dialysis for kidney failure, needed skin grafts. But rattlesnakes, this is why I have a snake phobia, quite frankly, because I appreciate snakes and I appreciate snakes and their habitat, but snakes, much like humans, we can spook one another. And this is such a unique scenario because, again, it was decapitated. I remember learning when I went through my toxicology rotation that this could happen. And I think it's also one of the reasons that made me develop my phobia. If something can be decapitated and still bite me, that's freaky.
Yeah, and apparently it can last for hours, that this reflex mechanism, it can clamp down on you. The reason it was so much venom is because it was dead, it didn't have its normal control mechanism where it would have held back some of that venom. Apparently this is also really risky with baby rattlesnakes because they haven't learned to control their venom release either. So that can be a very, very toxic kind of bite. But I think one thing also just to point out, since we're raising awareness of this phenomenon, is also there's so many do-it-yourself methods out there that if you get bit by a snake and your first instinct is to go online and try to create a bigger cut or suck it out, please don't do that. Try to just put whatever got bitten below the level of your heart, get yourself to a hospital, call 911, just make sure it's taken care of appropriately, because I think a lot of the do-it-yourself mechanisms to take care of snake bites do more harm than good.
Somebody asks you, please suck out this venom. Politically correct to say, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the case of a snake like this, we do have the antivenom. And so immobilizing that extremity and getting to a hospital ASAP is the best treatment. And where it really comes into play and is very difficult is you'll see young kids. When a young child is bit by a poisonous snake like this, it's very much limb threatening because you think about it, it doesn't take as much venom to compromise an arm or a leg. So just be aware, do not mess around, and incidentally, don't bring the head in, because this gets back to what people will do is they'll kill a snake, and just take a picture of the snake. And we also, if you're out on a hike, you don't need to kill the snake either. Just, you know, the snake will go on its way, but if you get bit, take a picture of the snake, or at least try to get a sense for if it's poisonous, and
or the color and the shape, so that at least you can convey that to your healthcare provider.
Well, and the head is the key. When you look at a snake, and we'll show you some pictures here, where do snakes hold their venom? In their cheeks. And so if you see that diamond shape of the head, as opposed to if you see a garter snake, the head is just this elongated, very simple extension of the body. But a venomous snake, you'll see their head, they got those big cheeks full of venom ready to inject into you. And that's one of the easiest ways to recognize a venomous versus non-venomous. But of course, as some snakes that are poisonous,
avoid those cheeky snakes.
Yeah, exactly.
We wish Milo nothing but the best.